All right, welcome to the show, Shirley.
Oh, hello. Oh,
Applause,
this one
applause, applause. I know all of our studio audience.
is fun.
Cool. Well, thank you for being here. I really appreciate you taking out the time on this beautiful Saturday. I know you have some stuff afterwards, but yeah, it'll be fun.
Yeah, this is my first time. Thank you for inviting
Yeah,
me.
of course, of
And
course.
I don't get a lot of experiences with podcasts, so
Yeah.
this is my first time actually.
Yeah, I think for most people, most of my guests, it's like their first or maybe second.
Yeah.
Even myself, I've been on two different podcasts, like during the pandemic with my girlfriend or Blessing and I.
Mm.
But that was pretty much it was like all Zoom, so it's like never in
Oh,
person like
okay.
this.
Okay.
So it's
Oh,
pretty fun.
very nice.
Yeah, yeah. So it's a fun new experience for all of us.
Ah.
So let me just go straight into well, I've already read your bio for the audience, but let me just go into like how I know you. So I remember when we first met, we were both competing in like K-pop dance competitions, like IKCF. That must have been like what 7 years ago, if not more, something
Yeah.
like that. And you were in high school.
Yes, that's actually my first time seeing you. I'm like, oh, that's the
Yeah.
guy who does flips.
Yes, I'm the flip guy.
Crazy.
Yeah.
Flip guy.
And then you were like, "Oh my god, this high school girl is just killing it on
Oh.
stage." That was what our group was thinking. So yeah, we both competed, and then like I followed your dance career since then, and then you were also on GRV.
So actually, it was under the GRV
Oh
company,
right, right.
but I was under Groove,
Oh
which is
group.
an adult training team.
Yeah, yeah. And then a few years back, you started SHERO, which is a creative K-pop dance team.
Hmm.
Any other clarifications on that?
It was just Groove.
Yeah.
Yeah, just that part.
Mm. I mean, I don't know if you guys know the audience. Like Groove is like it's not like a how do I say this? It's a very high end team. Like if you see any groove dancers, they're pretty intense. And then so like seeing Shirley in like groove videos and performances and stuff, you're like, oh yeah,
Oh,
that fits because Shirley's a really good dancer. You'll see
oh,
her IG and stuff like
oh
that.
my god.
So I wanted to just go into like your origin story. So we haven't really talked much. We're friends, but like I wanted to get into like your your origin story, like where you grew up, like what you've been up to, hobbies, influences, like school, background, career, stuff like that. So like, do you
Yeah.
want to just walk us through like your origin story?
What should I start with first?
I don't know, where'd you grow up and like main influences?
Okay, so I grew up from San Gabriel Valley, known as like the 66 area. Starting from there, it's a very well. Growing up, it's kind of like a bubble.
Mm,
A lot of us is just we grew up from the same traditions and culture, so a lot of them is very Chinese American or just Asian American in general, but dominantly Chinese.
mm,
So a lot of my friends, grew up from the same traditions, and then we have the same values. So it's also similar to the stereotype where you say like, oh, the parents will be like, you have to focus on studies, yeah, make sure you got to do well in school, and don't get distracted.
yeah.
So it's similar to that. And then with school, it's also pretty competitive. But for myself, I wouldn't say I'm too competitive,
Mm,
but I did focus on studies.
mm.
So with
Like
that,
competitive academically?
yes, competitive
Gotcha.
absolutely. So it's always like the friends like, oh, what score did you get? It's like, oh, what's your GPA? It's like,
Mm,
oh, where are you applying to school? Kind of thing for college. Yeah, with St. Gabriel, there's also a lot of Chinese food.
mm,
So it's considered like the second Chinatown.
yeah.
Well, I guess the main Chinatown. There's a Chinatown in LA, but it's kind of like dead. But then a lot of people go there.
Yeah.
There's a lot of tourists over there as well, especially this one street called Valley Boulevard. They even build a lot more hotels there too. So mainly just a lot of it's also known for just Chinese food and just the culture and yeah.
So like really quick for Chinese okay,
Yes.
so the first time I did go to like San Gabriel Valley, I had my friend recommended Hainan chicken rice.
Oh yeah.
So good. And I know there's a bunch of places and I've only been to a couple, but do you have any recommendations for any food in SUV?
Well, for Hainan chicken, my me and my parents we always
Yeah.
go to this place called Ipoh.
Mm,
They're more I think it's Malaysian or Singaporean,
mm,
but they're best known for the Hainan chicken.
mm,
I think another one was called Savoy. That was like a classic one. And then, well, for me personally, my so visitors of or to San Gabriel, I usually tell them to go to Jirong.
mm.
I really like Peking duck. So it's like, you get the wrap and you put the Peking duck in it and then
Oh.
you like wrap it up. And it's like, yeah, it's really nice. I would say that one. It's also modern, but also very traditional.
Mm,
So it's like a good introduction for others to try it.
okay. Okay, so I guess quick tangent while we're on the topic of food. So I know you're a Yelp elite,
Yes.
myself included. So how did you get into like being a foodie aside from your obvious enthusiasm for food?
Yeah.
And then, like, what has it been like since then?
So me and my sisters, we actually really like to try new food places.
Yeah.
Even coming here, since like, oh, I'm not really in Long Beach that often, so let's just try find something new. So that's why I tried Star Bread because I always see on TikTok like all the senorita bread. So oh yeah, the question was going to food. Yeah, so then for that on Yelp, I just kinda like to type reviews just actually for myself because when I go back to the restaurant, I want to see what items I actually liked or disliked. So with the Yelp reviews, I talk about, parking, prices, how the vibe is like, how the food tastes. And once I come back to it, I just like see and say, "Oh yeah, I remember like this.
Mm.
I'll come back." And then after that, I was recommended to join the elite squad, and then, from there, I just got on it. And after that, I was selected to be on the Elite on Fire. That's like their
Oh,
new program
what is
thing.
that? I haven't heard
It's
of it.
it's supposed so I went to the last Yelp Elite event, which is like a boba, boba, I don't know, a
Event?
boba, yeah. And then they're saying like the Yelp on Fire, it's the top 10 or top 5% of
Okay.
Yelp Elites in the area. So I was selected. And then with that, the perk is that you get to have main priority for the all the elite events that you sign up
Mm.
for.
So it's like another tier of, like, nomination, and then you get in, and then you get, like, more front of the line for the Up Elite
Yeah.
events? Oh, okay.
I think that's different every month too.
Oh, okay, that's
So you
cool.
could be elite on fire for 1 month, but not the next.
Mm.
I think it depends on how much reviews are right.
Right, that makes sense.
Yeah.
So what is it like to be Yelp Elite? For the audience, maybe people who are, it's crazy because I know we both use Yelp, and I know like people like, oh, what do you recommend, Jared? I'm like, I don't know, I just Yelp. Like,
Really?
but like, so what is it like to be Yelp Elite?
I think it's really nice to hear about their backstories for the all the businesses, especially the small businesses too.
Mm.
But then for me, it's like, oh, it's free food, yay! And you get to. I like the perks that they all also have too, with for the free goodies. Um, but it's really cool to try, especially the new restaurants that they open up and they have the Yelp Elite. You get to taste a lot on their menu. So for me, it's like, oh, I like to order a lot of dishes, but then I just want to try a little bit.
Right.
So then with the Yelp Elite events, it's like, oh, you get to try like a this, a little bit of this, a little bit of this. And it's like, oh, this is really nice.
Mhm.
Yeah.
So it's like for people who don't know, when you join Yup Elite and you either get nominated or you apply for it, and then a community manager like reviews your profile and they're like,
Yep.
okay, like this person's active and they have good reviews and photos. So then when you join, like you get a newsletter every so often of like, here are the events, or you can go onto their event site and be like, here's Yup Elite Elite events, and then you RSVP, and then if the community manager like if you get in and they select you for that event, then you can go, and there's a lot of free food. And
Yep.
sometimes it's not just food. Sometimes it's like I don't know, I went to this, like, mattress pillow thing, and then, like, they give us free
Oh, I
pillows. That was a
heard.
long time ago. Or, like, the end of the year ones where sometimes there's, like, these big events where it's, like, all these vendors,
Yeah.
and you get so full, and you can even take some stuff home, like regular food, drinks, and alcohol
Mhm.
sometimes. Yeah, like, they throw these crazy like, it's really good perks. I always recommend people to do it.
Mm. I
Um,
heard for that event,
yeah.
someone got a mattress.
Oh,
They give away a
really?
mattress.
Oh, I'm sure it was like a giveaway or something like that. I
Yeah.
think for most
Oh,
of us, we got at least like the pillow, but
yeah.
yeah, there's a raffle for like
Oh,
a
that's so
mattress.
fun.
Yeah, and that's like $800 or something like that.
Oh.
Yeah, it's
That's really
crazy.
cool.
I've been trying to tell Blessy to like do more Yelp like reviews so she can get in. Even the community manager for Long Beach is like, oh yeah, I let in Blessy for the last event, and like she writing reviews still. I'm like, I'm always telling her like we
Really?
can have free food for two people or free food for
Yeah.
one person, then split it. But
Exactly. Oh my god.
yeah,
Shit.
so
I think that's also you knew Steven.
yeah,
So he's
Steven.
my
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
boyfriend. And then he tried to get onto Yelp Elite too.
Mm.
But then so he would write like a whole story on that review. And then like he would and then but he I would say the one thing about Yelp Elite is that you need to be consistent with
Mm,
reviews.
mhm,
But he would just write one whole story out for one restaurant and then
mhm,
he
and
might
then just
not.
off, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh,
I'm like, you should continue. And he would just forget it.
yeah, that's same with Blessy too. She's like, "Oh, I
Yeah.
wanna, like I don't go to all the place." I'm like, "Yeah, you do." And she's like, "Okay, well, I'm gonna save it for later." I'm like, "Well,
Yeah.
it's free food." 'Cause
Right.
the thing is, like, whenever we get something, like, I normally can't finish all of it by myself, so I'm like, "Oh, do you want some of it?" And I'm like, "We could be having 2 of these,
That's
but now we
right.
just have 1."
That's right.
But yeah.
Oh, blessing.
I
Get on
know, I
it.
know. Whenever you see her, just kinda nudge her, be like, "Hey, did
I'm
you
see you
write any
after this.
reviews?" Yeah.
Hey, blessing.
Like, "Hey, did you have any reviews today?" Um, let's see. So, do you have any? So, I know neither of us work for Yelp, but like, what are some tips to become a Yelp elite?
Main thing, consistency. I think it doesn't matter how lengthy it should be, as long as you have the main points, like how it tastes.
Mhm.
It does actually say on the top where you write the review, it says ambiance. Uh, I forgot the other two.
Quality food or
Yeah, something
service?
like that.
I do those 3, like, I do, like, price, service, and, like, quality or something like that, but, yeah, they
Yeah,
have, like,
service.
ambiance and stuff like that, which I think makes sense. Because think about, like, if you were going to a restaurant, what do you wanna
Exactly.
see? I mean,
Yep.
like, what is the vibe like, or what is
Yep.
the prices like, or what's the
Exactly.
food like?
Yep. I think as long as you hit those points,
Mhm,
and it doesn't have to be too long, but
mhm.
then just keep writing reviews for several restaurants, and you're good.
Yeah, definitely. Okay, cool. So aside from being a big foodie, do you have any other hobbies outside of obviously dance that we'll touch on?
Other hobbies. Let's see. I do have my dog.
Mm,
So if I'm not really posting about dance, I post pictures of my dog. With that, so there's yeah, I go to the dog. I just dog parks and then gym and then let's see. I do play a lot of video games and then yeah,
what
just
video
hanging out with
games are you
friends.
playing?
Right now, recently I've been playing Wukong,
Oh, Wukong. I
but
keep seeing clips of it. How's it?
it's so frustrating.
Is it
It's like
really?
fun but not fun.
Okay.
'Cause it's like it's fun, you wanna continue, it's like, "Oh, you gotta kill it," but then it's not fun because you keep dying.
Oh, so it's
Yeah.
like really challenging?
It's really challenging. People relate it as a Souls game, which I actually never really tried something like that.
Okay.
So then when I first experienced that, I'm like, "Oh, I get it. It's annoying."
Mm,
But yeah,
okay.
it's really fun.
I've well, the only thing I know about it aside from clips is that it's like a one player game and it's
Yeah.
like an adventure type
Mhm.
game.
Yep.
But do you like is it like a Final Fantasy you have to like grind and level up and stuff? Or is it more story based or
I would say it's more about grinding. You
okay.
have to get the specific items, you have
Mm,
to, I think it's ability points. So you have
mm,
to acquire these ability points to always take advantage of the next bosses.
mm.
But yeah, but I am actually a really big fan of, like, Final Fantasy and,
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
Kingdom Hearts.
Oh my gosh, I'm such a
Yes.
huge fan too. I haven't played any of the recent ones because I've been like on a I'm sober from video games for like 6 years.
6 years.
Yeah, at least because yeah. But yeah, it's my guilty pleasure.
But
I could play for hours.
oh, what was the last game you played?
Last game I played was Red Dead Redemption 2.
Oh,
And
wow.
that took me like 2 months from start to finish. Not to
Mm.
fully complete, but like after that I was like, okay, I gotta stop. Because it's just
Um,
so much time and
yeah, it
like I
is.
have other things I need to do.
That's very true.
So but yeah, video games are my guilty pleasure. What do you play on?
PS5.
Oh, PS5. Okay. Yeah.
Yeah.
See, I also need a PS5.
Yeah. So
Um,
with that, it's like I guess the most recent or most favorite recent, it would be Final Fantasy VII Rebirth.
mm,
There's so much to do in that game, and then also it's like I played 80 plus hours on
oh
it.
my gosh, yeah. Man, when I played
So
Kingdom Hearts in high school, I must have I maybe I'm inflating it, but at least like 80, 100 hours or something like that. I don't even know
wow.
if that's a lot. If that's a
No,
little,
that
I
is a
don't know.
lot.
But like, cause it was a long time ago. But I remember like, okay, before I go to college, I'm just gonna just play all these games and then just put it away.
Wow.
But yeah, so much fun.
Wait, which one? All three?
It was no, it was not. That was before the third one came out, so it was only one and two.
Wow.
Yeah, so I think it was the second one. Yeah, so I haven't even touched the third one, even though like it came out during college, I think for me. But I'm
Oh, so
just
you
like,
don't know about like the story? Or
no, not really. But I love the world and everything.
yeah.
Yeah.
High key, the story is very confusing.
No, no, for real. Before the third one came out, I was following like the other games and stuff like that to be
Yeah.
like, wait, what is going
Yeah.
on?
There's like Aqua.
Yeah, yeah,
It's
yeah.
just like
It was
what?
like the DS games or something like
Oh yeah,
that.
those. Yeah.
Yeah, so I was like, let me just watch a playthrough or like the summaries and stuff because I'm like, I'm
Yep.
not gonna get to it.
Yep. And the whole Kingdom Hearts war about that is like,
Mm.
what's going on?
Oh,
It's
man.
like it's kind of hard to like tie everything together,
Yeah.
but there's just so much information.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
Okay, quick another pivot before we change our main topic. So
Yeah.
like where did you go to school? What did you study? And like what is your career now? Because actually I don't know at all.
Mm. High school or just college or everything?
College and then yeah, career. I don't know.
Okay.
Just in general.
Well, I went in San Gabriel. I went to Gabrielina High School.
Mm,
As it was one of the newer high schools during that time, and then after that, I went to UCR,
mm,
so University of California, Riverside, and that. So I majored in business econ. So actually, so my family has their own business. We do kitchenware wholesale products.
mm.
So we have our warehouse in Pomona, which we sell to different vendors. As long as you have a business license, we sell everything by bulk, and we also sell to others out of state too.
Mm.
So with that, well, honestly, my initial dream was I want to be a K-pop idol,
Ah, okay.
and so I was really focused on dancing, and I was like, oh yeah, I need to try to sing. And after that, so then during the time in college, my sister's just like, you need to pick a major. So then it was business
Busy
econ.
con.
And I already knew where I was going to end up in, which is working for my family.
Mm.
So then that's what I'm doing right now.
Okay, so it's like family business then.
Yes.
Sorry, do you have siblings?
I have two older sisters.
Okay, so do they also work business or do they do other stuff?
My second sister was also a business econ. She actually worked with us for the family for a little bit, and then she had to move to NorCal. And then my older sister, she works for an accounting firm in LA.
Okay, cool,
Yeah.
cool. So like, is the plan just to like take over the family business and keep doing that, or do you have any
hmm
like other side aspirations or anything?
Yeah. So then, well, they're currently near retirement.
Mm.
So once they do plan on retiring, they would lend the business down to me. For me personally, I am scared to try it,
Yeah.
but then I mean I'm open to it, and then I do want to continue the business. I want to see how it goes, maybe for a few years, and then see from there.
Okay, cool. So like, what aspect of the business like do you do? I'm curious. Like, yeah, like what do you do, and like, I don't know if there are any challenges or stuff like that.
Honestly, well, my parents are very traditional, so
Hmm.
then a lot of the workers there are also older traditional Chinese warehouse workers.
Okay.
And then for me, it's very chill.
Okay, that's cool.
So I do have a lot of time during the day that I can also work on Shiro,
Mm.
a lot of just documents or like organization. But other than that, it's just be taking phone calls or taking orders or handling the website. Also, recently recreated the product catalog, so it'll also be taking like product photography and
Mm.
editing. It's kind of pretty much since I'm the only um or English speaker there,
Mm.
so I had to handle more of just the
Like cross communication
yes,
stuff. Yeah,
yeah.
yeah. Okay, that makes sense. Okay, on that topic, so now we'll get to K-pop, dance, and everything like that. So, like, what is your? So I know you just mentioned that your initial dream was like to become a K-pop idol.
Yes.
So, what's like your dance background, and then how'd you get into K-pop?
Dance background. Okay. So, okay, from the very, very beginning in middle school, I started with sea walking
Mm.
because everyone started doing it. It's like, oh, this is cool. So I learned how to sea walk. And then after that, I saw America's Best Dance Crew. And then I saw Jabberwockies.
Ah,
And I'm
yes.
like, wow, they're so cool too.
Yeah.
And they started doing baby mills. Like, oh my gosh, I want to learn that too. So then that's when I started breaking.
Yeah.
And
I
then
didn't know
after
you
that,
break, but
yeah,
yeah.
I did that maybe for like three 3 years
Oh, okay.
or so.
In middle school, high school.
High school.
Okay,
So
okay.
middle school was sea walk, and then later it was like high school. It was starting to do breaking. So then I did find a group of friends, and they would have like sessions.
Mm.
They would bring out, the cardboard
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
and just put on the floor, go outside the plaza or something, and we started like freestyling or sessioning. So there's that, and then Taeyang's wedding dress
Oh,
dropped, and I'm like, wow, this is cool too. So I'm like, wow, I'm gonna learn how to dance K-pop. So I
yeah.
learned the choreography for wedding dress. And then I saw Girls' Generation. I'm like, oh my god, they're so cute and pretty. I was like, oh, I need to learn that too. So after that is when I started the K-pop journey.
Okay. So then
Yep.
no like breakdancing anymore.
Uh no.
Yeah, you're like no, not really.
But then I think the most recent thing I did was maybe last year, my friend Subin, she asked me to do one of the videos for Street Women Fighter,
Mm.
and then one of them required breakdancing. And so I was like, oh, okay, I guess
Ah,
I should do something.
nice.
She wanted me to fill in that spot. So I had to like pull up, some stick step,
Yeah,
I don't
yeah,
know, some coffee grinder,
yeah, yeah.
that stuff. And then actually, it's funny, like in the comments, it was like, oh, there's an actual B girl in
Yeah,
this.
yeah,
I was
yeah.
like, oh, that's nice. So my breaking
Nice.
experience paid off.
Pays off.
Yeah.
Did you learn from people, or did you have like teachers, or you just kind of like friends and you kind of just like learn stuff as you go, like from videos?
Yeah. So back then, for me, I was self taught for everything.
Mm.
So okay, like my middle school life is I played a lot of Maple Story.
Yeah.
That was my second life. So it'll be like coming back from school. I just go on Maple, play with my friends, love, grind and everything. And after that is when for dancing. So um, for these type of hobbies, I would feel bad for asking my parents. I need to pay for something to learn. So from YouTube, everything's free. So then I looked up like tutorials or like it's one of those how to.com or how to dance things. So then they'll be like, "Oh, you need to learn like you do this step, woo, kind of thing."
Mm.
So I learned everything from YouTube, from actually from middle school to I would say
Mm.
college. Yeah, all from just like see walk. breaking
Yeah.
K-pop, everything.
Nice. I feel like we have similar like flexion points, right? Because like so my friends and I also we kind of just freestyle and like learned as we go from like videos and stuff like that.
Yeah.
And then wedding dress came out too.
Oh,
And I
nice.
was like, no, sorry, Jabberwockies in for
Oh,
me for high school. And I swear to you, like when I graduated senior year, like my friend and I, we would sign all of our like yearbooks as like JR from Jabberwockies. Like
wow.
we were so into like we had like the shirts,
My
the
gosh.
outfits, and like the
Oh, yeah, the
masks.
Hitcherzu.
Yeah, so we would that was like my senior year was just like just being Jabberwockies.
Oh my
So that
gosh.
was like they
Yep.
started me on the path of like dancing.
All same.
That's why I wanted to like go to like SoCal and like dance with like the SoCal scene. And then my first year is when Wedding Dress came out, and my friend sent it to me, and like within 7 seconds I closed the browser because I'm like, this guy's too good. I can't watch this.
Wow.
I was like, and I eventually watched it later, but then and
Uh,
then Girls' Generation as well.
wow.
So it was like those same points.
Oh my gosh. Wait, you're not from SoCal? I thought you
No,
were.
I'm from NorCal. I'm from
Oh, you were?
yeah, from the Bay. Yeah, so
Oh.
born and raised, 18 years until I went to UCI, and then I've been sent down here since.
Oh, wait, what city in NorCal?
Yeah, Fremont. Are you familiar with the area?
Oh, that's where Steven's kind of from.
You
Either
know, wait,
Fremont or Union
Mission is?
City.
Did he go to Mission?
Mission?
Where? What school did he go to?
You went to UCI too?
No, but like high school. Do you know?
Oh, I don't know.
Okay, I would assume because he's Asian, he went to Mission because
Oh,
that's
I'll
how
ask
Asians
him.
go.
I'll
Yeah,
let him
because
know.
like half my friends went there.
Oh,
Um,
wow,
but
I
yeah,
didn't know
so
that.
yeah, Bay Area. And then just went to UCI and then started dancing since then.
Oh, so we're
Yeah.
inspired from the dance scene.
Yeah, no, because like
Oh,
Jabberwockies and Couple Modern, and I was like, well, Couple Modern's at UCI, so I should go to
oh,
UCI.
so that's why you applied.
Exactly, and so I
Oh,
only went to SoCal for dance. Like it
wow,
was just
really?
like okay, my I had a friend who also went to UCI, but then I knew Couple Modern was here, and I also knew that other teams like
Mm.
uh CG was here
Oh
and
yeah,
like other teams. Um, but
like
yeah, so
Quest Crew.
yeah, so like everyone was down there. I heard that the dance scene in SoCal was crazy at the
Mm.
time, so I'm like, okay, might as well. It wasn't actually for studying, so I think we're kind of
Study.
in the same boat too. We're like, yeah, studying, whatever.
Did your family know that?
Yeah, no, they're super supportive. They're like, yeah, just do what you want,
Oh,
and I was like, okay, like just do your best.
oh, that's good.
Yeah.
Oh,
But anyways, yeah. So dancing. So how did you get? So okay. So we went. You liked dance, and then you did all these styles, and you got to K-pop.
yes.
How did you get? Like, how did you find like groove, and then like get into that scene, and like choreo or urban or modern dancing?
With that, I think at some point I just got tired of K-pop.
Mm,
With K-pop dance, it was getting very, I would say, a bit repetitive.
yeah.
I kind of want to try something new, and I would say with K-pop dance, it's very like in a box. You don't get to expand as much as a dancer because I feel like K-pop's more about just performance. That was back then, but now it's a lot harder now.
Right,
But
right.
then there's that, and then there was Groove, and it was I think it was their first gen that they were trying out for, and so I was like, oh, let me just try it, and I just did it for fun. And so, oh, I ended up. Well, actually, it was really hard for me, but I
I
really
got it,
enjoyed
but it's
it.
hard, you know.
Yeah, because then for me, it's like I never really did anything else besides K-pop or like self teaching dance. So with Groove, it was like everything was really fast paced. I'm like, oh, I can't take my time, with the videos. I can't just pause it or I just can't rewind it back. So it was like a really like eye opening experience.
Mm. So how was it like adjusting to that? I know you just said like it was hard because it was like a higher pace, but for anyone who knows like cover dancing, you can kind of go at your own pace, like what Shirley said. But when you get to comp level dancing or even like GRV or groove level dancing, that's like all these dancers have been dancing for years and they've
Mm.
been trained. They dance like they have the best mentors. So like how did that how did you make that jump? Because I imagine that's really difficult from just
Yeah.
cover dancing and then b girling and stuff.
It was challenging.
Yeah.
But then for me personally, it did help me a lot because I didn't really have a lot of foundations with dance because everything was just from like video. So a lot of it, they would have different teachers who like teach their own piece, and then once you teach that piece, it's like you have to they test your pickup, execution,
Mm,
textures. You do learn a lot about like also like how to freestyle and other different foundations of style. So then with that, it's like they teach a piece, and then the next week you have to practice it kind of throughout the week, and then they do like groups where they have the original choreographer. They will like watch you, and then they'll give you notes after that.
mm.
So then it's more like you learn a piece, and then you practice on your own, and then prepare for groups. So for that, it's like I I practice a lot. So because then if I don't know, for me it's like if I don't practice, I'm gonna feel terrible about myself.
Right, right.
But then it did really help me a lot. I did learn a lot and how like they taught me how to see different things in dance. So that really expanded my knowledge of just in general of how to like dance.
So there's a lot of structure, mentorship, and like kind of like a process to
Mm.
like grow dancers with like the feedback loops, and then people just practicing at that like level of standards.
Mhm.
Okay, yeah, that sounds pretty intense. But I mean, if ever seen like a groove or a GRV or any of those pieces, you can tell that like people work really really hard when they're part of those teams.
Especially so they do have, like, the showcases where the other, teams like GRV or Gravy, even, like, watching the first time watching Gravy, like, oh my god, they're so
Yeah, the
good.
little kids.
The little kids,
Yeah,
I feel like they're actually, like, they're just, like, so small and
yeah,
they
yeah.
work or they move so, like, so much more quicker. I
Yeah.
feel like they also pick up faster because
Mhm.
then I feel like they're just soaking, like,
Yeah, yeah.
choreography even,
There's like
like, better.
sponges.
Yeah.
It's like it's
It's
funny
like, "Oh,
because for most people, like, seeing little kids dance is very inspiring. For me, it's very demotivating. I'm like, I don't even dance.
get
Like
over it."
these little 5-year-olds dance way
They're
better than I
so
do. I know
good.
they're so good. That's
Oh,
also the
yeah.
reason why like when like I've gone to Japan a few times and like I'm like, I swear I'm not gonna dance because my worst fear is like some 4-year-old comes out of nowhere and starts like if I dance, then they start battling me
Oh
and
my
then I lose to a
gosh.
4-year-old Japanese kid and I'm like, God damn it, I'm not dancing anymore.
Oh my
Yeah,
god.
so, like, little kids
What?
demotivate me, but they inspire everyone else.
Hikey.
Cool.
I love it.
Alright, so let's move on. So dancing, and then you were wait, so how long did you do group for?
I think they started around 2018, 17.
Mhm.
I was there for about 2 years.
Okay.
So then for that, so it was after college, and then I joined Groove, and then I was there for just about 2 years, and then that's when COVID happened,
Mm,
and that's when they had to, like, kinda shut everything down.
right.
It's like, oh, no more practices, no more meetups, and after that, I wanted to continue Groove too, but then after that, it's like, oh, now I'm kinda like so when the pandemic happened, it does get boring. It's like, "Oh, you do miss dancing with friends," and so that's how we started SHERO.
Okay, perfect
So we
segue.
made it.
I was just about to ask. Alright, so then how did SHERO come about? Like, so what was the idea, the inspiration? And I know you just said, like, okay, there was COVID and I wanna dance with people, so maybe that's part of it, but so how did SHERO come about?
Yes, so then, so I with dance, I think when you dance a certain style, for me, I get bored of it. So after that, it's like, oh, so then once getting into just hip hop and that type of choreography, I like, oh, I miss K-pop. Before it was like, oh, I'm tired of K-pop. It's like, oh, now I miss K-pop.
It's like a relationship. It's like, "Oh, take a
Yeah,
break. Oh, I miss you."
I know. So then it's like, oh, I'm tired of hearing just like American hip hop music.
Yeah, yeah.
So then, so it's funny. There's like a competition in the San Gabriel area. Also during like a Chinese New Year festival. So then, that's where I actually bumped into Linda. So Linda's like a high school friend of mine, and she's also a co-founder of Shiro. That's we. So oh, there's like so many directions.
Go ahead.
But then so Linda is like one of my high school friends too. So that we oh no, we actually met in middle school, and then we were like the only nerdy ones who liked K-pop.
Mm,
Before K-pop was like
right.
kind of cheesy.
Yeah.
No one really liked K-pop. But so it's like me and Linda. It's like, oh, her favorite was Shiny. And my favorite was Girls' Generation. I was like, also, we talked a lot about like K-pop during that time. So after that, okay, wait, back to Groove. So then I bumped into her during a practice. So she was on GRV, and then like, oh, it's like, hey, and then we kind of rekindled after that, and then I saw the competition. I'm like, oh, hey, Linda, let's do this competition together. So then, and then she knew some friends, and then we just kind of gathered together, and then we entered that competition together. I think there was also like Sola. I think Choreos also performed
Okay. Which what was like some Chinese New Year thing?
in Singer, bro. I think Ellen and Brian also judged.
Oh. Did they okay, now in my head I'm thinking, "Well, what did we do there?"
I think Sola did like some AT song because I remember
This was 2020? 2019?
2019. I think so, 2019 or
I wanna
2020.
say they did, what's that
Oh,
song? Dun-dun-dun-dun-dun. Is that NCT?
SAT? Maybe.
Yeah, anyways.
But yeah, I remember seeing them, and I was like, oh no, it's like because we were like just like just random dancers. We're not like part of the community yet. And they're like, oh my god, it's like oh they're gonna are they gonna compete? I was like oh no. And then after that, so then we did place third, and we're like, oh wow, people liked us.
Yeah.
So and then we just talked about it after. We're like, okay, so what if we make this like legit and stuff? And then like a few months later, we're like, oh okay, let's just start a channel. Let's see what happens.
Mm.
So that's where it came about, and then later it was when COVID happened. Everything started shutting down, and then like during the time, some friends wanted to still gather and make covers. So that's what we just made covers for fun, and then it kind of just like went up from there.
Okay. So start off as like a project for this competition.
Yep,
And then from there, like COVID happened, but then more people wanted to still do covers.
yep.
And then from there, you guys made it like a legit like team where like you like it's like an official roster or something like that.
Yeah, a lot of it was just like trial.
Right, right.
So we're like, oh, let's just try it for fun and see what happens. And like, oh no, it's getting big.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
It's like, oh, we have to like establish our name now. It's like, oh, we have to establish this now. It's like, oh, okay. So I mean, like, it's really good that it's like taking off like really well.
Yeah.
So it did start from like the pandemic era, and it did actually help us a lot because with YouTube algorithm, there was actually not a lot of people posting covers. So it did help us boost because we were the ones posting during the COVID time.
That makes sense. Taking advantage of the lull.
Yeah.
Nice. So I have a few different like questions. So what was it like kind of starting a team? Just for context, like Shiro is like one of my favorite teams in Soka area. And for like this competition K Factor, they've placed first place twice, right?
Mm.
Which is unheard of. Like no one has ever done that.
Really?
And I don't think so.
Oh.
Can you tell me? But like I don't I was like, you
No.
guys are placed
Oh,
twice,
really?
placed first twice. And at least not consecutively. But what I was gonna say, yeah, Linda's amazing too. Linda's like a crazy dancer. Again, if you see like any videos on Instagram, she's insane. So Linda and Shirley are like a crazy like power duo.
Oh.
But I guess so starting a team like that, like what was it like? I know you were said during the pandemic and making covers, but what was it like establishing that structure? I think the spirit of the question is as another leader and founder of different teams
Mm,
and projects, it's very tough because you have to kind of establish like what your team is all about, what the vision or direction is,
mm,
and then the culture, because then that also kind of dictates the people that you bring in and then how you enforce like policies or rules and things like that. Because every team is built differently, just like every like a different company.
mm.
So I guess what was the general idea for like Shiro once you guys decided, okay, let's make it official team, and then like what was I don't say like struggles or challenges, but like what was like that process like building the team to where it is now?
So then we do have another friend. Her name is Vio. She's another co-founder of ours too, and she actually used to run a studio in Monterey Park called MED. So she also knew a lot about. She had a lot of team experiences and a lot of building. So during that time, unfortunately, I wasn't able to help a lot because my parents wanted me to be very cautious about seeing people. So it was mainly from the very beginning. It was a lot of with Linda and Vio. So a lot of them with the projects and mostly a lot of the members. We are so the founding members. A lot of us are full time employees, and we do value our time. So then we had to make practices very organized and scheduled. We go, okay, we have to start this time, and at this time we need to have like 10 minutes for verse one, 10 minutes for chorus or something. So we make a whole schedule for that, and we always have a goal for each practice. So like, chorus has to be done today, dance break has to be done today, and we have to make it very efficient, very organized because we had to work so the next day at like 7 a.m. or 8 a.m. With that structure. So a lot of us came from like we're kind of like similar age. That's why. So we're a lot much older than like K-pop dance scenes. So we would know how to arrange it and organize it schedule, uh, and then so it'll be more efficient and for everyone too. So with the structure, it'll be like that. And then what else?
Like, did you have like a specific vision as like the founders of Shiro, like what you guys wanted to build it towards? And second thing is like what type of culture did you want to build?
So then for uh wait, hold on. There's like so many thoughts in my head.
Yeah, yeah, go for it. I remember when you were telling me like before when I asked you that you wanted to be like a professional dance team
Mm,
that can do opportunities and kind of like
mm,
put themselves out there like that, which is why you put in emphasis. One of the things I admire about Shiro is that like you guys have a very like I don't the polish is not the word I'm looking for, but very professional, but also very like high level image that you guys put forward because you guys
mm,
do a lot with like costumes, your filming, like your like locations, dance quality, performance. I think Shiro's like head and shoulders like you guys hold yourself to higher standards. As someone from the outside who admires you guys,
oh.
that's what I see. And then when I asked you about it, you're like, yeah, we want to put out work that we're proud of, but also like have these opportunities and do them.
Oh yes. So then from the very beginning, when we were just a no name, it was the very beginning. It was be that our goal is to we want to be respected by the dance community. Of course, there's like choreos, Sola, a lot of many other teams. and we want to be known and be recognized for like our work and be up to that par too, as well as your team. So then from that is that we had to just kind of we did have to focus a lot on just like the YouTube algorithm. It's more like you had to have fast covers, how you had to be public. From there, we had to we always had to try different things or different methods on YouTube to try to see how to be successful. And then that's when you have to see like location change. You have to do maybe like outfit change or just how fast you need to learn because there's like some cover dancers like on the different stage they like learn to dance like on the night of and they post it the next day. So before then we were like strictly like, oh, we have to get this out like soon as possible, or maybe we should try like a 24-hour challenge, kind of like that. So from there it's like we really wanted to work hard just to be recognized by the other dance communities from the K-pop scene. From there, then that's when like K Factor happened. So then after that, it's like we did our first competition set, and surprisingly, yeah, we won first. And then so me and Linda, we also valued a lot for original choreography, especially when covers they do get very limited on dance execution. So we want to also expand our creativity and showcase what others that what we can do too. So from there, it's we just wanted to build a reputation. That was like our first 1 to 2 years, and after that, it's like, oh, now slowly we're getting recognized, and that's when we're hoping to get more opportunities and just grow. So right now we're just working as hard as we can so we can get even more opportunities and working with maybe like businesses or labels and get like better collabs too. So
Mm,
that's what we wanted to do for Shiro.
nice. I like that. So it's like first like few years was developing yourselves as a team and
Yep.
having developing that reputation, putting out that quality and like forming the team. And then after
Mm.
that sounds like opportunities and kind of continuing that growth from there.
Mhm.
What is like, do you guys have a vision for like the future of Shiro? Like how long do you plan on doing it forever or stepping back a certain time? Or I don't want to worry any Shiro
Yeah.
members like, oh no, Shiro's leaving like next year or anything like that. But like what is the longer term vision for Shiro?
As of well, in terms of leadership, as of right now, right, it's just currently me and Vio. It's mainly us two working for or just managing the entire team. So right now we're currently about like 30 members,
Mm,
but maybe
that's crazy actually.
yeah, but then our founding members, they're actually like maybe like out of state because then
Yeah.
there's some of them are like still in school or they're just too far away to actually do covers now. And then some is like so VO, and then we have another member who's they're located in Seattle now, but they still work a lot of things remotely. So she'll still work on like graphics or like a YouTube channel. So they still put a lot of effort into that. And then currently for that, mm, wait, sorry. I think I went away from the topic again.
Oh good. So okay, you touched on something like that. You said you have founding members who help out and it's you and
Yes.
VO. Is would you say that is like the roster for your leadership? Sort of
Yes. Just
okay.
two of us right now.
That's crazy because like for a team of 30 or something like that, like for choros, we usually hover around like low to like mid to high 30s. But our L ship is consistently, if we want to do a good job, at least 6 people. And now
Oh,
we're up to
really?
11. And even then, it's like so hard to wrangle so many different people. So like I commend you
Mm.
guys for doing it with 2 people and then obviously help. So I wanted to ask like, so how is it like dealing with the, that number of team? Like, do you have any challenges or things you had to like overcome? And I know to step back from that too, I know that for some context, a lot of teams that I know of, like project teams or regular teams, they start off as like a group of high school friends or a group of
Mm.
college friends. And it's not the same as you guys are like, oh, we're all working. So we need to be
Mm.
really efficient and
Mm.
organized. And so that's what I think also makes you guys stand out is that there's that efficiency there. But like how did you go about like challenge or tackling like the idea of like what kind of culture you want to build and or like managing 30 plus people?
I think so after having our first year of auditions, that's when we started opening up. So then the very founding team, it's we're all like full time employees.
Mm.
So we're all used to being very scheduled. And then once we open it to auditions, that's where we got younger people. So then it's like maybe like college students or maybe like even high school students. So then once we so with auditions, we became also more selective with also dance skill. And then after the auditions, we do an interview with them. So we ask them about their background, like their schedule, or like how do you or how would you think about like different scenarios? Like, oh, maybe say, if you're not able to get this role, like, how would you feel? Or like, well, during competition season, maybe we'll even practice even longer hours. How would you feel? Kind of thing. So we give them like, a whole bunch of questions to see like and how they would react. So we also check their like personality and see and maybe if they also fit well with us, if they're able to work best with this time of timely schedule during our practices.
Okay. How about like, I mean, you guys still produce a lot of different covers, and I know it's just not you two like running the show. So I'm assuming there's some sort of level of empowerment or like having allowing people to like lead their own covers and
Mm.
produce themselves. Like, is that what you kind of focus on? Is like, okay, let us give them like the tools and skills to like lead their own covers, so you're not having to do everything, or is there some
Mm,
sort of in between of how that works?
somewhat. So for new leaders, we actually just we have our own our handbook
Mm,
and we send it to them and they're like, okay, for as a cover. So our position is there's a cover leader, dance leader, maybe a practice leader.
mm,
Cover leader organizes everything. Dance leader checks the cleaning for the dance, and then just that. And then sometimes I would have to come in and say or tell them or check how they're doing. So then with the dance, it's like, oh, if they're not as precise enough or they should drill more, then it's like, oh, would let them know. And we also well, I will also be monitoring how everyone's practices are. So then if there maybe there's something just like not as close to the choreo, then I'll like let them know and oh maybe you should take notes of this person or if their performance facials is might not be up to par, we'll also let them know. It's like, oh yeah, maybe be aware of this person and see how they're doing. And then uh yeah, mainly those are the 2 crucial roles for the cover, so it's just cover leader and dance leader,
mm.
and and from there, if they do their first project, then they'll be more experienced with the next, future projects.
Okay, cool. So then you have those the cover leader and the dance leader, but then you might do some like quality control of like the
Mm,
dance wise and like step in if needed.
yes.
Gotcha. What are some of the like biggest challenge for like leading and running a team like this? Do you have any that come to mind? Or is it
Uh,
just super easy for you? It's like, oh,
it's
yeah,
not it's not easy. Well, okay, honestly, for me, I never thought of myself to be in a leadership role. I I well, I would say to be as a good leader, you would need to have a team that trusts you and to have a voice that everyone can follow you. But then for me, I am like very soft spoken. I'm so introverted and like even for this for like public speaking, it's like it makes me so nervous.
yeah.
And then for that, it's like so then for Shiro, it's like I got put onto leadership. So then from there is that my the most challenging thing for me is just a mental barrier. So it's more like, oh, I have to keep practicing. I have to be more firm. I have to sometimes like you don't have to be or you can't be too nice
Mm,
with that. So then from there it's like, yeah, oh, you have to push other people. Maybe you have to be clear with what you say. Or you can't just beat around the bush and maybe they won't get to the point. But again, you have to be very firm. So there was just a lot of things that I learned being as a leader, especially since I'm not used to that type of environment. But then from Shiro, it's like, oh, I learned a lot from this experience.
mm.
Yeah.
What do you think motivates people to like be engaged and do like really high quality work? I think one of the hmm, one of the challenges I think with leadership is like leadership will always care more because it's like the ownership of the team, right?
Mm.
But how do you create a team or inspire that sort of motivation with each member that they want to be there and do good work and not just kind of lower their standards to something else? Like how do you maintain or encourage like standards and how do you like motivate your team?
I think it's usually the results
Mm,
that we see. So I think depending on the videos that get produced and see how they resulted in. So then maybe say like if it's a K-pop in public cover, if it's fast, then it's like wow, it's like 100,000 or something. And then like wow, they kind of want to do something like that too. And especially with styling, we also do. So even with our outfits, we spend maybe average around like $100
mm,
for each cover. So then for that, it's like, oh, and then people see our outfits, like, oh wow, we look really good. So then from there, it's like, oh, people would want to be motivated, so we can to do like covers similar to that. So it'll be just the scenery, the dance quality, the styling, and maybe also the videography too. So we often use our friend Irving. There's also Irving and Jane. They also do really high quality covers. So then we always tell them to help and then film and edit. So then everything would just like look really nice and highly produced.
Okay. So it's kind of like setting the standard of okay, this is what our covers look like. It's high
Mm.
quality and high produced, and then when you see the results of like okay, it does well, and or we like how it looks, you think that's like what motivates people to not only join Shiro but also to be motivated to produce those covers too.
Hmm. I believe so.
Nice. Okay, I like that. I think that's very insightful. Anything else on Shiro you want to cover with like leadership or insights, takeaways? I think the main focus for at least for my show is like what can we pass on to the audience like that have you learned through the fire and like, oh, that's very interesting. I didn't know that. Or like, oh, that's very insightful.
Mm. In my position, I would say push yourself.
Yeah.
For me, it's like I need to push myself because yeah, from again, I never thought to be a leader, so this was a bit like more handed to me.
Mhm.
So I was like, oh, I had to do this more, I had to do this more, I had to do this more. So from there, it's just pushing myself and challenging yourself to become like a better version of yourself. So that was just the most learning experience for me for as fresh hero.
Nice. I love it. All right. Ready for rapid fire questions?
Sure,
Cool. First one is the billboard question. So, if you could have a billboard, put up a sign for millions of people to see, what would it say?
follow Shiro.
Oh, good one. Yeah, definitely do that. Is that it? Anything else?
Yeah, just
Okay,
just follow.
perfect. What is your favorite failure or something challenging that you learned from, like something that set you up for later success?
Oh yes, for this one. Um, okay, personally for me, I don't like to remember my failures.
You're like,
I
oh,
like
just wipe it out, format,
because if I keep remembering about it, it's just gonna make me feel bad about myself.
like
And
ruminating on it.
yeah, so but I do for all the experiences, I do learn from it and try something different. From there, it's just oh, okay, I need to move on. If I know what to do next,
Mm.
so it's just learning, and then I would know how to apply it to the next time.
Gotcha. Yeah, I like that. Was there anything that stood out that you're like, you definitely learned a lot from that? Okay, the outcome wasn't what you wanted, but you're like, okay, well, the good outcome is that I learned how to do this better or something like that. Anything come to mind?
Ah, not on the top.
She's
Yeah,
formatted
I'm
it all
like,
from her brain.
like no, yeah, I
Wiped it.
can't.
It's all good.
I can't.
Is there if you could give your younger self advice, what would it be now? Any age, any time period.
I would say to trust myself
Mm,
because a lot of times I feel like I can't. It's just, for me, it's a lot of like mental barriers, but it's more like, oh, I should believe in myself more
mm,
because a lot of times I don't, but then I do. I'm really grateful to have friends who believe in me and what I can do and what I could do also for the future. But a lot of times, if I can't trust myself, then it holds me back.
yeah.
So it'll be more believe in yourself,
Nice, nice.
trust yourself.
Good advice. I guess on that note, is there do you foresee any sort of time frame of like passing the torch for someone else to take on Shiro, or do you think you're just gonna do this forever, or like what's your idea?
Uh, as of right now, we are still handling me and VO. We are going to take care of the teams. But then as of the other members, we haven't had a chance. We still might be thinking about it, but probably in the near future, we might have to hand it or add more to the leadership.
Like
Yeah,
okay, add more leadership spots to help with
yeah.
like the
Hmm.
responsibilities. Cool, makes sense. I always worry about that. Or actually, let me take a step back. For leadership, right?
Yes.
The way I see it is like it's always a constant process of finding and growing new leaders.
Mm.
Because at least for a team like Choreos, like people graduate and they leave, or
Yep.
they're working in the new phase of life. So it's constantly a turnover of eldership. And so for me, it's like okay, so I need to keep on the lookout for new leaders and help develop
Mm.
them so that they can kind of like replace and recycle, like not recycle, but you know what I mean, like
Mhm.
refresh that like group that base of leadership
Yes.
because if you don't do that actively what we have in a lot of different teams is like a phoenix year which is all the leadership leaves and or there's unresolved conflicts or problems and then you have a whole batch of really new fresh people who don't know what they're doing or like
Mm.
they don't have experience and they just
Yeah.
have to learn as they go and then the team suffers for that. So
Mm.
my focus is like always trying to develop a new batch so that like we're rotating of like people out and in.
Hmm.
Um, but it's like I know that no one is going to be in this position forever, so therefore we have to keep that culture of constantly finding new leaders and developing them.
Oh, yes.
Yeah, and Yeah, aside from me, who's probably gonna be there forever,
Really?
I'm always looking for new people to be like, all right, this person has potential, and then just kind of peer pressuring them to be leaders, and
Oh,
then not peer
oh,
pressuring, but
nice.
just like kind of like encouraging
Yeah,
growth
yeah, yeah.
and being like, hey, this team isn't just about you; it's about giving back to other people. So if you guys have had a good experience, which
Mm,
is my focus for the team, is to have the newbies have such a good experience that they want to stay for 2, 3, 4 years,
mm,
and that they want to eventually become leaders to give back to their newbies, if that
mm,
makes sense. So I
mm,
think about that, which is why I'm like so impressed that you guys do it with like just only a handful of people,
mm,
and it's just you guys for now. And it's like, and you guys do a really good job with like, even though you don't have other officer positions, you're
mm,
still, I still think you're developing leaders, just obviously not in like an official
mm,
capacity.
mm,
Um, but yeah, that's just like my tangent thoughts on that.
mm. I think because we're also like a young team,
Mm,
because
makes sense.
we only started from 2022.
Right.
So I think it's only been 4 years compared to a lot of teams. They've been, I'm not sure how long is Choreo's
This is our 10 year. This
10
coming up. This is
year.
our tenth like era year, like
Wow.
as of like this month actually.
Oh.
Yeah, so it's pretty crazy. Side tangent. I'm trying to hit that like record of like being on the team the longest. So the record right now is like 6.5 to 6.8 years, and so I just need to do 2 more years to hit 7 or 7.5 or something like that. So
Wow.
I'm like, I have a 2 year lease on Choreo still, so I have to, I'm gonna be there for
Wow.
2 more years,
So
and
for sure.
yeah,
You're
for
gonna
sure, I'm for sure because I'm like, yeah, I'm competitive in that way. I want to have the record.
nice.
I don't think anyone else is gonna stay on the team for 7 years, so I might as
Mm.
well just do that.
Oh.
And I'm also the oldest person on the team now. So,
Yeah, side question. How do you feel about being the oldest?
I mean, there's a huge age gap. There's
Yeah.
someone did this thing that's like shots fired, where it's like they put all the birthdays and then the ages
I
in
saw
order.
that. I'm
Yeah,
like, I wonder who's the oldest. Oh, it's
yeah, no. And
yeah.
then so it's me, and then there's a 5 year gap, and then there's like my little Lisa, who's like 27. And so I was like, God
Oh.
damn it. Like, and then from there, it's like
Oh.
27, 26, 25, 24, 23, all the way to 18. And we've
Uh-huh.
had a 17-year-old on our team before too. So it's just like
Oh.
17 through 27, and then a 5, 6 year gap, and then me. I'm
Oh
like,
my
okay, well, whatever.
gosh. Wow.
It's like there's a disconnect. So it's kind of like obviously there's like generational, like they're super into K-pop, I'm not, and they're like college students, and I'm obviously not, and they have like their things they're interested in, and so I'm just kind of like there, just to like
Oh.
supervise and like just to make sure everyone's cool and like just to make it a safe space for them to like grow and learn
Mm.
and to be leaders and develop their own artistry. That's like my function is to make sure that the team is healthy.
Oh, that's good.
Yeah, and then so I'm just like, all right, I'm the adult, making sure everyone's healthy, but otherwise, you
I'm
guys
the
lead the
adult.
team. Yeah, because I don't. I'm like, I don't want to lead anything,
Yeah.
because there's no point in me being the bottleneck or the CEO of the
Mm.
team if they can't lead it themselves when I'm eventually gone.
Mm.
So that's why I talked about like the leadership stuff.
So how do they address you as like
I mean, so my position is I'm the director of internal relations,
Mm.
and so I'm doing that next year as well. So that's just it. It's like we have an L ship of like 11 now.
Yeah.
Before it was like 10 and then 9 before
11.
that. But like our L ship now is like super solid compared to like before, where it was kind of like college students trying to figure it out. But now that we've had more mature people and put structures in place, like
Mm.
our L ship is super solid. Like I'd put our L ship
Mm.
against like any other team's L ship in terms of like
Mm.
what we can get done, our communication, and like 11 people as a team within itself. So
Mhm.
my primary function is making sure that team of 11 is like we're so cohesive and
Mm.
we can work through our problems or have difficult conversations,
Mm.
and like that's my sole focus. Everything else, it's like you all need to do everything else because this is your team. I'm just here to make
Mm.
sure that L ship is healthy and safe.
Oh,
And
that's really good.
by transit property, then the team will be healthy and safe if L ship is
Oh,
functioning.
that's good.
Yeah.
Drama free.
Yeah, yeah. Well, I mean, everyone has their challenges, but I think I really enjoy the process of helping to create like a healthy, safe team
Mm.
where like we all can trust each other, and then I believe that if everyone has a good level of safety and trust, we can do good work regardless.
Mm. That's really good.
Yeah, yeah. Yeah, sorry, let me just go back to you. That was like a super huge tangent. So rapid fire questions.
Okay.
Are there any habits or routines that are key for you to getting your results now? Like any things that keep you saying that you do consistently, mindsets, processes?
I think in general for me is just being consistent.
Okay.
So
Consistent like what way?
I would say, what do you mean, like dance or just in
In
general?
general, like as Shirley as a person, do you have any habits or routines that keep you sane or help you to achieve your goals?
Well, so with gym, I do like to gym like maybe once a week. But then for gym, it's not really more like just body goals and more like it's for me to like relieve stress. So then for me, it's like, oh, I really actually enjoy gymming because so okay, like our when I was really young, it's like when I get really mad at my mom, I start doing like push-ups in my room.
Ah,
So I was like,
you're
oh,
so
I'm
mad.
mad.
You just
Yeah,
off.
so I do that. So then, I don't know, gym is just really stress relieving for me.
Yeah.
So I just doing that, and then I think in general, I just think coming back from like maybe like the Yelp leads, like consistency with reviews, or on dance teams, like consistency with that we're always working. I would say just consistency in general.
Okay.
It's
So
really
being consistent with like everything that you do because that's like the way
good.
to achieve everything.
Mm.
Gotcha. I like that. Who do you consider successful and how do you define success? Like anyone come to mind? Could be people friends, family, or like a famous person or whatever. Who do you consider successful and how do you define success?
Um, I think I think was this a similar question to the influences? I think
Could be. Yeah.
let's see. I think maybe well, I guess besides SHERO.
Yeah.
um
My team's successful.
I'm really proud that their SHERO's growing so
Yeah.
well. And especially it's only been 4 years, and then we hit the 60K mark, and it's like, oh, I'm hoping that we can get like 100K for subscribers. We get that YouTube
Yeah.
plaque. I was like,
Yeah.
oh, we'll have our own, and it'll be really nice and rewarding. So then with that, it's just uh with SHERO, I mean, like SHERO can't grow without I mean, our friend Vio. Vio does definitely do a lot for SHERO, and she did help with building the structure and everything. Let's see, idols. So I guess my favorite dance idol would be Kai.
Oh, okay.
I really enjoy or like his way of dancing. He's really like passionate with the way he dances, and that just made me so inspired. It's like, oh, I want to like dance like him.
Mm.
And it's a lot coming back to, I guess, like my dance journey. It's coming back. Oh, it's like, oh, this looks so cool. I want to learn it. See walking. Oh, jab walking. Oh, I want to learn that too. So breaking. It's like, oh, it's always trying new things.
Mm.
So that made me inspired to become who I am.
Nice. Do you have a definition or how you define like the term success? Like, oh, this person's successful because I define success as this. Do you have anything that comes to mind?
I would say, if they're doing well, if someone who's maybe active or just saying, I would say also getting opportunities. If you see someone who's getting like so much opportunities, like wow, it's like I admire their work, and like how hard they're working just to like gain so much stuff, and then they're able to achieve more and like expand how they're doing.
Okay. So like working hard and then seeing the results of that, which are like achieving different things.
Mm.
If time and money weren't an obstacle, what would you be doing?
I would be traveling.
Oh, where to?
I just want to travel certain places on Instagram. You see, like, oh,
Yeah.
those really nice, like, waterfalls or
Yeah, yeah,
like
yeah.
hiking spots. Yeah, actually, like, this year I will be traveling to Taiwan and Korea
Ooh,
just for
nice.
vacation.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah. For that, I want to also visit Europe. I want to try like maybe like also like the best food. Going to like, oh, trying the best croissant or
Mhm.
something, or going to Hawaii. I'm gonna try the best spam musubi.
Yeah.
So like, I want to try so many different things. I just want to see the world.
Yeah, yeah. Spoken like a true foodie. You're
Oh
like travel so I can
yeah.
try the food.
Yes.
How do you spend most of your time?
I would say there isn't a category I spend most if it's not dance, gym, play with my dog,
Yeah.
games. Mostly, I would say I keep it all maybe like well balanced.
Yeah, yeah.
So there's not something like I put too much time into.
Mm.
If if not dance, yeah.
Nice. I love it. I feel like we're the same too. Like I equally diversify my stuff so it's not all just one thing.
Yeah.
Yeah, last rapid fire question. Any favorite books, movies, articles, resources that you share or recommend the most?
Honestly, let's see. I haven't maybe not in that category. No.
No, nothing.
I forgot.
Media or songs, artists, anything you recommend?
I think I've been so kept up with K-pop
Yeah.
and having to like um I don't know, with K-pop it's always like it has to be the new trend
Mm,
kind of thing.
mm.
I feel like I don't know, with K-pop it's a bit repetitive at the same time, but I think as of now recently not too much.
Gotcha. Yeah, it's all good. Cool. All right, let's go into ending questions. We're about to wrap up. So I like to end with gratitude as always. So Shirley, what are you grateful for?
Oh yes. I'm grateful for everyone who just keeps supporting me, believes in me, and just trusts me to do everything that I. It's again, it's like the mental barrier, but I really appreciate everyone who always believes in me and says I'm doing a good job. It's like, oh, it's really heartwarming
Mm,
because yes, a lot of times I don't believe in myself.
I love that. Any final ask from the audience or any final takeaways that you want them to get from this episode, aside from following Shiro's, which you should.
I this it's a bit cliche, but I would say love yourself. Always work on yourself. Put everything you can on yourself to become the better version, and then just focus on
Nice.
yourself.
I love
Yes.
that a lot. All right, Shirley. Well, that's pretty much it. Where can we find you if people want to reach out or connect or see what you're up to?
You can follow me on Instagram, Woo Shirley underscore J. You can follow us on Shiro, SHERO FFICIALS. Yes, it's right there.
Nice. Yes, and I will link it in the show notes as well, so you can click on those links and check them out, see what they're up to.
Yes, thank you so much.
Cool. Yeah. Thank you for being here, Shirley. Again, I really appreciate it. I'm glad you were on my season one. And so now for the audience, thank you guys for tuning in again. And just a reminder to always be kind to other people as well as yourself, especially. And remember that you can always learn something from people. You just got to take the time to listen. So thank you guys for tuning in.
I know. Thank you guys.
Woo! Yay.